collect yourself, put yourself together, and become one. All the thoughts, back to one. All the emotions, back to one. All the sensations, back to one. One is the truth. One was there, always. Before there was a concept of one, there was one. And that one remained. That one cannot and will not change. Appearances changed. Those appearances are real, some of them, to us. And some of those appearances are not even real to us, they just appear to be real. In order to distinguish between what appears to be real and what is real, we come back to one. One meaning that I'm not appearing to myself as multiple, and therefore I'm not creating appearances. I'm simply observing the reality that I exist. That reality is one reality. Before I even interpret the meaning. That reality to you is more valuable than anything you can have. That reality to you is your entrance into all possibility. Everything that is, that was, that will be, is only relevant to you because of that reality. So that reality is extremely precious. It's not simply another fact. That unity, that single truth, is worth more than all the possible things you can do with it. So to find the most value in yourself, go deeper into appreciating that simple fact that is always present. And by doing that, you'll rely less on the things that you are creating that make you into many. The more you're aware, the more you appreciate. The fact that it is not enough for you to feel it. The fact that you exist doesn't mean that you will appreciate that you exist. But if you can realize that you exist, if you can become aware of the significance of your existence, then, and only then, do you gain access to that reality. Do you get the appreciation that naturally you should always have? We haven't seen the best existence has to offer. The best existence has to offer is currently not available within the human body. the best existence has to offer is going to become available within the human body, hopefully soon. But for now, it's enough to know that everything we've experienced, even if we take the sweetest moments and we multiply them by whatever degree, would not even give us a taste of what existence has in store for us, just for the mere fact that we exist. We have received based on this relationship with reality, but we have received in a way that is hard for us to appreciate, because our existence has become more of a burden than a privilege. This is related to what we're doing with our existence. It's not related to the real nature of existence. And so we take the difficulties we have because of humanity's behavior, and then we misunderstand the real relationship we have with reality itself. So when we come back to the unity, we're moving away from the place that can be contaminated by what we've observed, by the interpretation of others, even by our own interpretations. We come back to a place that doesn't require any interpretations. In fact, it doesn't allow any interpretations. In that place, the value of what is becomes evident again. In that place, existence becomes worth more than all interpretations. Existence is the key to being able to interpret. This becomes very obvious when we're in existence. This becomes impossible to realize when we are under the spell of an interpretation. If we can collect all our pieces and become one, then immediately we would know. We would know something we never knew before. Something that cannot be explained in words. Something that can only be experienced. To unite to one would include everything that's happening in us. All the different urges, ideas, thoughts, associations, relationships. Everything uniting to one, meaning everything working together in unison, as was the original design of the human body. Uniting into one also means all the spirits that we created from when we started to form on this planet, in our mother's womb. All the spirits that we created all the way to this moment, all united as one, all come to one conclusion, one understanding, one truth. For that to happen, we need to have a realization of truth that is deeper than any of our previous experiences. Then all the spirits can gather to that truth that now has room for them, because it is a deeper truth, a truth that defines all the lower levels beneath it. So when all spirits become united to one spirit, then it knows itself. As long as there's conflict, the spirit cannot know itself. It isn't yet a self, it is multiple selves. It serves a singular self. A singular self that cannot see itself because the spirits are divided. There's conflict within its own perception. A united spirit is a Holy Spirit, because it will bring unification wherever it gets involved, physically or spiritually, consciously or unconsciously. This is going to be the vibration that it creates within reality. When all become one, then there is peace, then there is quiet. If there's anyone that's not ready to become one, that one is not yet quiet. In the beginning, when we want to become quiet, the ones who don't allow us to become quiet are very loud. And then as we become more quiet, we realize that under the loud ones there were a lot of other urges. There were a lot of other unprocessed information, reactions, emotions, realizations, important information, unimportant information, so many open files that we were too busy to even notice. And the more busy we are, the more we don't notice, the more busy we feel, and the less we can notice. So things pile up. And then the mind is many things all at the same time. And those many things cannot know themselves because they have no selves. They're ideas, they're mind patterns, they're not individuals. But to know ourselves, we have to return from all those patterns, return from all the different interpretations, and allow ourselves to realize the nature and the relationship of perception, the relationship we have with perception. The nature of perception is such that when we're in it, when we identify as it, we can think it's us, and then in our experience it is us. This is a magical concept that humanity has learned to work with on an unconscious level, where we're constantly identifying as things, and then we suffer when those things don't go the way that we imagine them going. This is magical. This is not the natural way of how we're supposed to identify. This only happens because we've lost the ability to identify in a way that can keep us safe. And so we're vulnerable because our identity is not firm. And when the identity sticks to things that are vulnerable, the identity itself becomes vulnerable. The real identity is the one. Who's the one? The one that lives in the body. Who's the one that lives in the body? The one that lives in the earth. The one that lives in the sun. The one that lives in all the galaxies. Same one. He lives everywhere. And that's the identity. There's no other identity. There's an address. This is where I came out. This is where I got my connection to the tree of life. And this is my place in this huge being. My place from where I perceive. What do I perceive? The one, the only one. Identity is an idea. That idea was meant to allow us to identify as the one that we are. It wasn't meant so that each individual can create for themselves a separate identity where they somehow have an interest that can sometimes even go against the interest of their nature, the interest of their very kind. This was not the intention. Identity is sacred because identity belongs to the one who is. One who identifies as the one who is cannot be harmed by something that will offend his identity. To the extent that we identify as the one, we're completely safe. That one is not vulnerable. And so here we see how the truth is the safest place to be. We try to protect our identity by adding more and more layers of why we're important and why we're strong and why we're different. And in reality, the safest place to go is back to where there's no reason. All the reasons make us vulnerable. All the reasons make us less safe. And the truth is because it was willed into being by something much more powerful than us. Something that is us, and yet we forgot not to access. So unite all your parts. Everything. It doesn't matter what face it puts on, it doesn't matter who it looks like, it doesn't matter what events it seems to be busy with. All of them are coming forth from the same one. Return. Return so you can have more of yourself. Ideas are less than you. Identifying as them is beneath your dignity, and your soul knows it. Unite all of you to a place that's beyond ideas. So you can have yourself. And with yourself, you'll see the world differently. Reality will appear different once you are more united with yourself.